but I knew that, okay, if he pointed it out then, like he'll point out the things here. And also for me, don't be afraid to speak up. You know, if you see something, if it bothers you, like say that, like be honest with them. Let him know, like, hey, you said this, like get an understanding. What did you mean? You know, so I took that into this process. And then I really feel like that's why Robert and I connected so well, because we were very honest with each other from the beginning. Like we laid it out on the table. Like, this is who I am. You know, this is who I know me to be. You want to talk to my mom? She can tell you more. You want to talk to my, you know what I mean? I'm like, let me talk to your people too and see, you know, because we can say we're one way. And then our family, you know, so we're asking each other. So like, what is he like when he's upset? What is he like when he's really happy? You know, what is she like when she's disappointed? You know, these are the questions we're asking each other's families, because we were talking marriage within like week 2 or 3.
Hello, and welcome to the Bold Black Girls Podcast. I'm Aries.
And I am Kim.
And we have a very special treat this week. So y'all know we talked about how I was on this dating show called LoveOnStage with Mrs. KevOnStage's wife, obviously. And it is located on KevOnStage Studios, the streaming service. If you ever want to go, you know, check it out and see how that all went. But we about to talk about it today. And we have the lovely ladies. And actually, ladies, we're going to make y'all our Bold Black Girls of the month of February.
Yes.
And that is a spotlight where we just kind of talk about women who we think are killing it, are doing great things every month. And I feel like that's a bold move to sign up for our dating show.
For sure.
Listen.
I don't know about me. I admire and adore you all for doing that. That was really bold.
Yes. So today we have Bria and we have Sherelle. Welcome to the
show. I'm so excited and delighted. And because Aries was actually on the show today, I will be moderating and guiding the conversation here today.
Yes.
So the first time I watched it, I was very intrigued. I was impressed with all the women. Now the men, it was a little questionable.
It was
very questionable. So by the time they got down to the 3, I was like, okay, this is a great group. I'm very pleased. Like this isn't going to be like the regular dating shows where I feel like people are pretentious. You all, to me, felt like very genuine and authentic, real women that I would see on the street or be friends with. So today I want to talk to you all, and I think I might go in alphabetical order, ABC.
It is
Sherelle.
ABC.
Or, you know, if you want to speak up first, you go ahead. So let's kick it off. So we talked about.
Do we want to give a premise of what the show was? One of y'all want to do it? Want to tell what was how did the show work for people who don't have KevOnStage Studios? One of y'all want to give the rundown of how it was? Because maybe people don't understand the dynamic.
Sherelle, you wanna tell it, or you want me?
You can go ahead.
Okay, so basically we were selected out of, I think, maybe 10 women.
They were the finalists, but I think
as finalists.
Yeah.
Right. There were more. How many? I can't even remember how many. It was quite a few. It was hundreds. And from there we were given men to be matched with, potentially. And so the stage crew, which is the audience of the following of KevOnStage, that's what they call them, the stage crew, they were actually able to vote on who they thought we should be matched with. So they got to vote, and then it was revealed to us who we would be matched with. And we went on 3 virtual dates and 1 in-person date where we finally got to meet each other in LA. So that's kind of the general overview.
Yes, that was what went down. Bria was matched with Robert,
whom I voted for.
Sherelle was matched with Walter,
whom I voted for.
And I was, And I did not vote for that. I was matched with Jesus.
Whom the hell I did not vote for. I did not. Only Jesus is. Not that one. We don't even call him Jesus. We call him Jesus.
Yeah.
So, thanks for that recap of the process. So let me ask you, because this was a bold move, and we talk about being a bold Black girl. What was it? What was your dating life before you even joined the show? Or maybe even let's back up. Why did you even decide to sign up to partake in this show?
Oh, I'm A.
Yeah,
you A.
I'm A. For me, child, I just been chilling really. And the pandemic was like, okay, I'm in the house. So I'm not on the dating apps. I tried that before. It's not for me. And I was just like, let me try something different. I mean, because whatever I was trying obviously was not working. And then also, I'm a follower of LoveOnStage Studios and Melissa and all them. So I was like, you know what? I feel like I know them through the screen and kind of foundational beliefs and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, this seems like it'll be a safe way to date because you're virtual. And if I don't like the dude, I won't see him.
Exactly.
It was like not ready to love. You know, we do a recap of Ready to Love on our channel. That would have been, I would not sign up for that. Like I would not sign up for that. But yeah, I feel like it was just like an easier way to see what else, give somebody else a chance to pick some people.
Right.
Okay.
What about you?
For me, I'd actually been single for going on 8 years when I signed up for the show. Yeah. So I hadn't really had like a real relationship since college. I had dated here and there, but nothing that like turned into anything serious. So for me, I was like, you know what? At this point, the dating apps aren't working. Meeting people organically is not working. Like, let me just give it a go. And like Ari said, I followed them. I followed both the Bald and the Beautiful when they do the Married at First Sight recap. So I was like, if I'm going to go on a dating show for anybody, it's going to be with them. Like I trusted them enough to like take care of me. So I was like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it with them. And if it doesn't work, like what Ari said, like it was virtual, you know, I can move on with my life afterwards. And so yeah, it was a fun experience. I'm an adventurous type of person though. So I don't mind putting myself in crazy situations or doing like fun things or wild things. So this for me, it was like, why not take a little risk? A little reward in the end. So yeah, that's why I did it.
Okay. I like that. What about you, Sherelle?
For me, honestly, it was late at night. I was scrolling on the gram. It was like midnight. And I saw it because I followed Melissa because I used to listen, their podcast. I think they ended it this past like season or whatever. The Love Hour podcast. I used to listen to it all the time when I would walk. And so I knew that she was like really passionate about love and like, matchmaking and just people finding like true love. So I was laying in the bed scrolling on the gram and I said, oh, wait a minute, what is this? I was like, I'm about to apply. I literally applied and then I didn't realize you had to do a video at the end. Yeah. And so I was in my night on my head. I looked a mess in that video. And I got on the video. I was like, listen, I am open to all avenues of love because I don't do the online dating thing personally. I had a bad experience some years ago. And since then, that's not for me. Like the Lord is like, the girl, that is not for you. So I saw the opportunity. I was like, oh, this might, who knows? I honestly didn't even think I would get selected. I would ever hear back from it. So I just kind of threw like an arrow out there and not expecting anything to come from it. And then I ended up hearing from him. So
I didn't
know why I did it.
Selected either. I just was like, it's so many people that are going to apply that this will probably get lost in somewhere.
Yeah.
But when you found out you all were selected, like, how was that feeling?
Shocking.
First of all, when we got the email to do like the pre-interview, I was at dinner with my mom for her birthday. And I was like, like I checked my email, like text messages, and I was like, does this say what I think it says? Like, cause it was like what, a month later after like applications that went out.
Yeah.
So then did the interview with them and like heard back again. It was like, okay, gotta do some background checks. I was like, Okay.
Yes,
And
that's
then
the
like
part right there.
right. It was
They're like, so does this mean that I'm in, or like?
So they did
Yeah.
a check on you all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wish they did that on the men.
They didn't do psychological.
Okay.
No, they should have.
Somebody got through.
They did do it on the men, but
Did what?
To what extent? I'm just kidding.
They did what? The background?
oh no, the same
Oh, yeah,
background
yeah.
check that we did. They did on the men. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did
So
my
yeah,
well.
But that don't cover your head. That just covers on what you look like on paper.
paper, correct.
Cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. It should definitely add psychological into
Yes.
I know that the other dating shows do that.
Yeah.
You know, some people
They do.
through. Yeah, they said they go through a whole thing. They have to talk to a person for 30 minutes and everything.
Therapist or something.
I'd be like, y'all need to find a therapist already.
They really do.
Right.
Who is it?
Right. So yeah, that would be a good additional piece maybe for
It
them.
would. Yeah, because
Okay.
some of these men were little.
I agree. So that's my next question. So what did you all think? Because Sherelle, I love your reactions, first of all, your facial reactions.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Because I was like, dang, I made so many faces. I didn't even know I did that.
I love it though.
You do.
Sherelle talked with her eyes and her smile.
Listen.
I do like,
So like I told you, when they went through the women, I was like, oh, these women they bringing it. I remember I was in a hotel watching. I think I was out of town. And then when the men came on, because I think I binge watched 2 episodes, I had to lift up out the bed like, and who they gonna match them with?
girl.
Who? And no shade to, it's not all of them, right? It's not all of them. But I was just expecting a better caliber of men for the women that they had on there. So when you all, did you all see these men prior to getting selected, prior to coming on the show? Did they give you any visibility into the men?
No.
We were picked first.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got to look at the videos that the guys sent in or had the interviews with them.
The interviews, yeah.
Yeah, the interviews with Melissa. And we got to go through them and kind of say, who are your top? And honestly, when I saw it, I was like, none. Like there was none. And for different reasons, right? So like like Robert, and it was like some other guy. A lot of them were young.
Yeah,
so I was like, you're out. You know, like that's just a early disqualification. Plus, I'm older. I don't want no kids. None of that. So like, I don't look at young dudes. I don't date dudes who don't have kids and want kids. So we could eliminate it pretty much all the guys for me, right off the bat. So there were only a couple of guys in my age range that were in the same kind of criteria that I would be looking for. So
I definitely think you didn't have a good pool because of your age range. They were more younger on the younger side. So I was like, I don't think, she has anybody out here. She's going to have to train them.
And one of the guys, right. And I ain't got time. And then one of the guys that was like in the same thing as me was a friend. So I already knew him. And I was like, no, that's not him.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What about you, Bria and Sherelle? What were your thoughts when you saw these pool of men?
Those first 3, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I tried to be very nice. It's like I don't really know these guys, but I know that they're not necessarily my type. Like I can go with the flow and have fun, But those first 3, I was like, I was literally waiting for the following week so that we could see the rest of the lineup because I was concerned.
Was too.
Yeah.
It was literally a guy that did not have a job.
No job.
Yeah.
I was like,
how did he make it through?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah. What about you, Sherelle? Who did you see?
The first week I thought, I think my face said it. I thought they were a mess. I hate to say that, but they weren't for me. Like I was thinking these guys are not for me. And then even when we saw the next set of guys, there were some of them in there that I thought like, I would probably say there were 3 or 4 that I thought, okay, these guys seem like they're decent guys. But the rest of them, I'm like, no ma'am. So, but I don't know. I don't know how they pulled or like picked for guys, but I was like, that was definitely an area. It represented my experience in
real life.
Because like these guys, I'm like, So I'm like, I guess they struggle like we struggle.
I feel like for guys though, you probably need to. You have to be creative to go get guys. Like
Yeah.
you need to get some baddies to go some places and like sit at the
Recruit.
bar, you know, go to the golf course, go to the somewhere nice, like and go get them. Like, you know, or a match, what do you call them? Matchmaker?
A matchmaker.
Or something like that. Like you got to go get them. They're not going to apply. Like I just like my dude is not going to apply to this. Like who I would like probably would not apply to this.
And like Sherelle said, honestly, I was like, this is a reflection of society.
Yeah.
And that's how I started to feel. And I was like, it was sad, but it was like, this is the story that Black women are going through. Unfortunately, like Ciara have leveled up and we waited for them to come up with us. As one guy told me, I think I was talking to him. I met him at ECC. He was like, you know, y'all got the black girl magic and we still back here. I was like, yeah, do we need to throw some potion on y'all? What's going on?
Because
I was like, I was very disappointed because I was like, we shouldn't have to settle as Black women. And I felt like no shade to those men and someone out there, but the women that were on that panel, they were not equally yoked.
Robert was the best thing.
He really was.
Yeah. I mean, like
his uncles.
Yeah, I was like, Robert came with the I'm a web developer at NASA. They was like,
and I think he was one of the youngest ones.
He wasn't one of the. There was some guys in their 20s.
Yeah,
he's 3 now.
Yeah, he's 33 now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So let's fast forward. You all are assigned these gentlemen that you will be dating. I don't know. You don't have to go in order.
Sherelle, what is that?
Sherelle drinking a champagne. I want to know.
I want Sherelle to go first on this one.
Yes. Please.
What were your thoughts? And then what was your overall experience? Initially upon being assigned to that person, were you like, okay, I'm excited?
I mean, no. I wasn't excited, to be honest. Like,
and I could tell.
I was like, okay, I was just like, this is the person I probably said I didn't want to be matched with. So my initial reaction, I was like, what? So I was just like kind of taken back a little bit because I'm like, I specifically said I didn't want somebody with more than 2 kids. I said, you know, there was key things that I said that it was just ignored. I guess it was just like, oh, whatever, we're going to place you with this guy because for whatever reason, you know. So for me, I was like disappointed in the sense of like, I didn't see, because I knew that I had already known that he had 4 children. So I was like, I don't think this have any kids. Who? What'd you say?
I said, and you don't have any kids.
No, I don't have any kids. And so, and I knew he had been married at that point, had been married twice. So I'm like, well, yeah, I don't know. So no, I was not excited about it. I was just like, oh God, you know, like, how is this going to go? Maybe we can be friends. You know, I was thinking like, you know, maybe we can be friends and have some fun, hang out, you know.
So did you just entertain it because it was just basically, this is the person you'll be dating, I'm just going to go along with it for the show?
Initially. And then I would say, you know, there were a lot of comments and for me, like there was a lot of pressure, like, he's a great guy. He's this, you know, from the stage crew, from other people on the show, panelists, you know, like, he's such a great guy. We love him. Like, give him a chance. He's so open. He's so this. So I was like, well, maybe I have a blind spot. You know, maybe, you know, I got blinders on and I don't know, you know, maybe I'm missing something here. So I was like, let me lean into the process and really try to get to know him. And so for me, I took down, like, I was like, even with the children, you know, whatever, I was just like, I'm going to be open to the process and see if there's more here that I'm missing. So I like really, really leaned into the process to like try to get to know him.
You did.
I remember that. I was going to say, I do remember your reaction. And I was there because I have dated a gentleman with a child almost for every day of the week. And I was like, that is not going to work. I already know it's a red flag. You don't have enough time. GoDaddy.com. Everybody deserves love. However, you don't have any children.
Yeah.
And so you have time and you want someone to spend time with you. He can't spend time with you with 4 kids.
That's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Reality. And so I think men have to be realistic about when they're dating, like, just
be as picky as women are being about men who got, like, they're picky. They were like, oh, she got kids. You know, there's dudes who are saying that. But also, I feel like if I would rather date someone who has kids for me, because I have 2 boys, right? And even the boys are always like, I want you, like, I hope they have kids our age. I said, actually, I don't. I hope they're older, right? Because I already got y'all, you know, but it would be easier if they were the same age or up, right? Because then I'm already in this space. I'm already doing the mom thing. But to not have kids, I remember I did not want kids when I met their dad. And he has a daughter that was 3 years old at the time. So when he tried to like holler at me, we were friends. Sherelle knows him. When we found that out later. Yeah, they used to work together. Wow. So anyway, I didn't want kids, but then he was like selling me on how great the relationship with her mom is and all that. And I was like, okay, let me give it a try. You know what I'm saying? So it was still a step that you have to like, you need to prove to me that it's gonna be what it is. But if he had like 3 or 4 kids, nah, I couldn't have.
Yeah, and I think for like with Walter, his kids are older. So I was like, that made it a little bit more palatable for me. Like I was like, okay, well, his kids are older, like 2 of them are grown, the other 2 are like teenagers. And I was like, well, maybe, you know, but my biggest thing with men with children is not the fact that they have children. I want to have children. Exactly. So if you already have, okay, that's why my new limit is 2, because if you already have 4 and then I have 2, that's money. Like, wait a minute. So I'm just like that. I'm just the math don't math for you that many kids. So that's my biggest thing with it. And I'm like, and also if a man already has that many children, a lot of times they don't want to have any more children because they're like, well, I already have my kids. So and you're not. I don't want you to try to convince me not to have kids at this point. Like I want you know, let me do what I want to do. So
like me. Okay. But some of the stage crew did say, like, because they didn't see they had already voted when they saw our reactions to the guys. Mm-hmm. So if they had seen, they were like, if I had seen that, I wouldn't have voted this way. Right. They had known how we personally felt about each guy. They would have voted different. Some people said at least.
Mm-hmm. Hey, wow. So you never know. Well, we'll come back to you, Sherelle, because again, Sherelle, I relate so much to you in that experience. I felt like people were pressuring her. And I'm like, if she has standards and that's what she wants or what she doesn't want, then that's okay. If she's not going to connect, right? Stop trying to make something fit that's not going to fit for her.
And I can understand on her side too, of like feeling it and being like, okay, well, maybe, I mean, I've been dating, it's not working. Maybe I'm not seeing something. True. Let me just give this dude a chance. So it's so much that goes into it that, you know, people don't understand on the backside.
So who wants to go next?
Now me, I already knew I didn't. I wasn't feeling him, but I knew they were going to match me with him because it was like, okay, out of all the guys, of the 3 dudes, you know, or 2 guys, it was only like 2. Walter was one of them, and I'm like, no. And then there was another dude I think named Derek.
Yeah.
And then I was like, for entertainment purposes, Jesus was a great option, right? Because it was nothing outside of that. I knew. I said, okay, well, cool. Maybe I said the same thing. I said, maybe he'll be my friend that's in Houston that I'm just like, hey, he might be cool. I don't know, you know, but I'm open to just at least getting to know the dude. And maybe, you know, when I'm in Houston, be like, hey, what's up? Go have a drink, you know, whatever. But I already knew his style based on what I saw of him and stuff. I'm like, it don't match with what I'm into. So yeah,
I can definitely tell that. And I also felt
what did you feel being my friend seeing?
Hell no. Hell no. And I was thinking like most people are looking aesthetically like, oh, they would be a very nice looking couple.
Mm-hmm. I think like, that's
surface level. Like, let's get into his head and see where he's at. And then there were some things about him that was like a red flag for me. It's like, he lives in Houston. His children in Chicago. Did you leave your children? Red flag.
These are questions.
These are questions, and people want to just look at the surface level. I'm looking at the language he's using. We have a text. He even made a comment. My daughter's 21.
And she's from Chicago.
And I'm from 21, so I already got a bias. I'm from Chicago. And so my daughter's 21, and so she's experienced like not having her dad around. And so she was like, that's a red flag. He was like, I could be a dad from anywhere with the computer. I'm like, so I was like, and then I always think I have a daughter, she has children. Would I want my child to look up to him as a father? And I thought the things with her kids, they have golf clubs.
Right. Come on.
You gotta get somebody to Nope, got
Right.
something really going on, not just
Yeah.
with the Express business card. So I said no. But again, people are looking aesthetically. Oh, she's handsome. She's beautiful. They would make a great couple. No.
Yeah, I was not with it.
Yeah.
Not at all.
It was when they tried to even put him with me. I was like, please.
The panel,
like,
they did say that.
Oh.
I was like,
yes.
where'd that come
I
from?
was like, first of all, his daughter is like 6 years younger than me. Like, let's start there.
Nah.
These are facts. It's crazy.
I was like, what? No.
Now, Bria had a way different experience than me and
she
Sherelle.
sure did. And
yeah,
let's get into that, Bria. I want to know because I feel
she
like
knew what she wanted.
She knew what she wanted.
First of all, I was upset that they even made me pick out 3 guys. I was like, do I have to say anybody else?
So you knew who you wanted out of those 3 immediately.
Yes, immediately. I was like, that one right there with the dimples. That one.
Them will get you every time.
Get me every time. Yeah, I knew that I wanted. I had saw him, so we had seen the episode of us reacting to the first 3 guys. At the end of that episode, they had a picture of all the guys, and I screenshotted it. I was like, right there, that one. So I was like, okay, I want to hear what he's talking about. It's like, he cute, but let me hear what he's talking about. And just like hearing him talk, I was like, this is like literally everything just like aligning to, you know, what I've been praying for and looking for. So when they told us we had to pick 3 guys, I was like, okay, Roberts and whoever else.
Top 1, 2, 3. Did you have to rate them in order, chronological order, or they just said pick 3?
It was just
yeah, I just said pick, but I was like Robert, and then them other 2 guys. They had to remind me of who I said I was interested in, because like, yeah, once I saw him, I was like, that's out of sight, out of mind. So
Bria went on a campaign, y'all. She went in the comments like, vote for Robert.
You did?
I surely did.
Yeah,
I love it.
I would have did that too if I already had told them. I said, "Oh, I'm gonna get people on my side. Like if it's somebody that I see that I want, I'm gonna tell them."
And the producers told us too. The producers told us like, "Hey, go, you know, tell the pitch." So I was like, "Robert, please." I was like, "If y'all vote anybody else, like, okay, but make sure he is number 1 or like a pick." So, yeah, but that was like my reaction. And she had told me Robert's reaction to being matched with me. I was like, girl, you just trying to get me hyped up for this first date. So when I actually saw his reaction, I was like, you really hopping around?
Well, on the show.
Okay.
Because we were seeing the episodes kind of those first ones. I think we saw those pretty along with the audience right after. They were like a couple weeks later, like a week or 2 later. I feel like it was like right after, maybe 2 weeks. So
yeah,
so let's get into it. Your match with them. What was your experience? What was your overall experience? You don't have to go into detail, like, you know, was it good, bad? And then I also want to know, like, what did you learn from it? Like, what did you learn from this experience, and how will you apply what you learned?
For me, honestly, it was I will say it was kind of like not a test, but like a trial that I just kind of went through. It was like showing me about, you know, hey, Eris, you've been doing all this work. Like, let's put it into action and see if you actually are where you think you are. And he was a very challenging person to be on dates with. And so it definitely tested every piece of like my
emotional intelligence,
just everything. I was just like, okay. So like in real life, I would have stopped having a conversation with this man probably in the first 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like I would not have made it as long dealing with him as I did. I did it because of the show and the commitment I made. So like to stick with it was a whole nother area of growth for me. Cause I'd be like, you know what am I doing? Why? You know, and there was a point at the end because I had this very terrible conversation with him off camera where he basically like went off on me about how I'm not all over him like other women that he's used to throwing themselves at him because of his looks, and that I'm used to dating losers and he makes $1 million a year and I treat him like he's average, and some other little things.
Real Kanye-ish.
It was. And I was like, and I'm sitting there, and it was interesting because as I'm sitting there with my face, we're on FaceTime. So like my face was kind of like I was making this face like, what the heck? And he smirked at my confusion. And it was like, in the movies where you like rewind. Yep. I was in a relationship with an narc. Okay. Narcissist straight up. And all of that came back to me in that moment. I said, he got that narc trait. He got that same, kind of narcissist trait. People use that word all the time, but it's some real qualifications that you can check off. And he was checking the boxes. And I'm not a doctor, so I'm not diagnosing him, but he had some traits that reminded me. I said, he likes that I'm looking confused right now. He likes this. And he made a comment of like, I'm not trying to make you feel no kind of way, but this, and that. I said, you're not making me feel any kind of way. And I made sure that I did not give him the energy that I felt like he wanted. I'm going to just, as crazy as you're talking right now, I'm not going to let you feel anything other than my positive in this moment. So I was like, you're not bothering me at all. I feel amazing. This is the best conversation I've had all week, because it really helped me understand what I've been dealing with on these dates. I said, that's why he's talking like this. That's why the dates are going crazy, Yep. So for me, I was like, wow. And after I got off, I said, hey, well, this conversation isn't going anywhere. So I will see you later. Because we still have one more date to go. And that was going to be the group date with y'all. And so I got off and I blocked him and I unfollowed him on social media right after I hung up the phone. I never talked to that man ever again.
Which people on the comments, they knew that you unfollowed him.
Yeah.
I saw someone write that in the comments. They're not following each other anymore.
And I think actually that happened after the group date. That was after the third day. I think when he saw how all y'all were, the chemistry amongst the other couples were, and we had none. We were just kind of doing business, even though we won the game. It was just because we were both competitive and we were just like, and even I tried to kind of throw the game, try to throw it a little bit at the end.
You did.
But I really learned that I was like, I'm good. I'm still good, and this was just another blimp in my story, And
I'm proud of you because they tried to comfort you in the comments early on before they really saw who he truly was. And that's why if you have to learn who people are. Like he looks, to some people, he looks aesthetically pleasing, but up here, it was not.
A lot of insecurities were there for sure.
And people don't realize those are people who cause other people harm or can't cause harm.
He said all the other women he's dated were ugly. He said some crazy stuff, and I didn't even tell all the stuff he was talking about with.
Right.
He was saying stuff about the people who were doing the show. Like he was saying all kind of just disrespectful stuff. And I was like, wow, this guy, like, I don't want to be anywhere near him. Block and unfollow. And I don't even want to see you. Like, I don't want you in my space. Like I'm all about protecting my space. And I did not want any parts of that. So he did not show up to our in-person date, which I kept texting like the producer and stuff. I'm like, so what's going to happen? Because like what? Like, I didn't know that he wasn't going to show up, but I was kind of like, why? I don't want to go on no date with him. Like, I don't want to even be around this man. Like, I don't want anything. I don't want to see him in person. I really don't have nothing to say to him. So like,
it kind of worked out in your favor.
It did. She was like, she kept saying, trust me, come, So I'm like, okay, let me just follow through, go to LA for free.
Right.
Free trip.
And you had a good time.
And I had a great time. The girls have been the best part of this experience for me because I feel like, I could be Bria's auntie, but not Sherelle's. Okay. So my nephew is 28. So I'll give you that. Yeah. But I'm like, I feel like I really was here for whatever the other reason is. I still don't all the way know yet. But, I was like, I'm glad I got to meet these ladies. They've been.
Yeah.
So.
Same. And you leveraged your discernment.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Discernment. Discernment is on point.
Because you'll get to a point where, and Sherelle talks about this, where people are just like, and I'm looking at the comments because by the time people are actually seeing like our first date, we've already done all the dates. I know everything that happened already. Exactly. I'm like, they don't even know that this fool was talking crazy. They're not gonna know.
Right.
And the editing was kind of in his favor in the first date. And I was looking kind of like this dominant woman who's like, this is what we gonna do and this is how it's gonna be. And it was just not how it was. And the comments were funny because I'm like, I know myself. I'm secure in who I am. And there's not one person in some comments that don't know who I am in real life could say anything to me that's going to shake me. Like, that's just something that I've worked on over the last few years. Honestly, it probably would have some years back. Like, it might have done that to me. But I was so like, y'all don't even know who I am. My friends were looking at it like, what? Like, no, because I did not get a chance to showcase my true personality in this show because I'm dating somebody who had me on defense the whole time. So of course I'm kind of going to be like, you're seeing a different side of what my real full personality is, so everybody just needs to be on Bold Black Girls podcast and they get to see a little more.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Anywho.
All right. So Sherelle or Bria, who wants to go next and tell us about your overall experience?
Let Sherelle go next.
Okay.
I'm about to say, let Sherelle go.
From it?
And
how
man, I hope this isn't too long. Okay, so my experience was an emotional roller coaster because as you guys saw, I didn't like him at first. Then I was like, you know what, girl, you might get a blind spot. So lean into it. I leaned into it and I actually really started liking him. I was like, okay, he seems like a great guy. He seems really nice. He like convinced me that he wanted to have children, still more children, all these things, and things were good. So when we went to LA, when people seen us in LA, it was like, okay, everything was good. And then when we left LA, probably like a week after that, things really quickly started going downhill. And it was honestly the experience for me. I feel like I got bamboozled almost. And I don't know. He just, I thought he was, open, kind, genuine, caring, all these things. No, he's definitely not any of, for me, in the end, he was not any of those things. He ended up being, it was literally like a wolf in sheep's clothing for me. And for me, what I take away from it, because I was like, really like, it was hard because I was like, why am I going, like, why did I go through this? I could have done without this experience. I could have done without this show. I could have done without all of this. And I feel like it was two things that happened. I learned just in dating. There were some things I learned in dating. And then also on the spiritual side, like, I felt like God allowed me to go through this experience because I was so confused. I was like seeking God in a way that I don't think I ever have. And because of that, the experience made me get closer to God. And so on the spiritual side, I feel like I had to go through this experience for me to get closer to God. Even though I'm a freaking minister. So I feel like I am close to God. You know what I mean? Like, it's like crazy to me. But in real life, like just dating, two things I learned, which are very basic things that I felt like I knew, but I guess I didn't really know. Trust your gut, your instinct, the Holy Spirit, your discernment. Trust that when something tells you that it is one thing, it is that way, it is that way. If it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, it's a duck. It's not a cat because everyone else says it's a cat. It's a duck. And the other thing I would say is the red flags. Like, there were big red flags just waving like right in my face. I was like,
and that's what red flags was trending on like Twitter.
Right.
Exactly. And so like, I am the kind of person though, like I go in with, I give people full trust. Like just in general, I don't care, work, friends, family. I'm like, I have no reason not to trust you. I have no reason not to believe what you're saying to me. So the things that he said, when things were skeletons were piling up in the closet and falling out, the door was open, it was falling out. And I was like, and he would say, I'm like, well, I have no reason not to trust him. I guess if he said that, that's what it is. And then I just feel like it all just kind of came to full circle, came to a head, and it was just a mess. So my experience really was an emotional roller coaster because it was like, for a short period, it was like fun. And it was like, I felt happy. Like at first I was disappointed, and then it was like, I was kind of fun and happy. And then it all, came out, and I was just like, oh my God, what a disaster. Like, I ruined my life. Why did I even go on here? Like, and so I don't know. My experience is just, like if I had to go through it all over again to get to where I am today in terms of like what God has shown me about him, because I also like just like I feel like this is like spiritual. Like I feel like I always thought that I struggled in my faith with God in certain areas of my life, but I realized like I feel like God showed me that it wasn't that I ever struggled with faith or trusting him. It was that belief and unbelief can coexist. You can have both of those things. And there's a piece of me that was still connected to unbelief. And this process showed me that. And so if I had to go through it all over again, I would go through it all over again to learn that about myself, because I think that piece of me that was connected to that unbelief, I need to identify that so that I can get rid of that, so that God can deliver me from it, so that I can move forward in every area of my life.
Like that, so, my unbelief, you know.
Yes.
I hate you had to go through that, but I love that you have grown closer with God.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Wow, Sherelle.
Yeah.
Everybody's all about Uncle Walter. Uncle Walter, this again.
Girl.
I wasn't
buying it all the way.
My red flag.
She likes them, so hey, obviously it's working out. In my mind, I'm like,
no.
Yeah.
My red flag was definitely the kids, and no shade to any kids, but I look at past behavior can also be a predicator to future behavior.
That's true.
Yes.
And have you changed from that? Have you been delivered? Because just like you, when I was dating this guy, and I was like, my gut told me don't do it. But a friend was like, girl, he seems like a good guy. And it just started. No, it was not you.
I like
it. Started unfold. She did. It started unfolding. And I was like,
you got to trust your gut. Because I'm telling you, it does not fail you. I was like, I knew it wasn't right. But then I was like, well, maybe, and everybody was like, oh, he's a great guy. Give him a chance. That's Uncle Walter. He's so fun. He's so, like all these things. And I'm like, okay, maybe he is. And then he was those things. I was like, oh, he is. And then the stuff just started falling out. And I'm just a person, how you do one thing is how you do all things. I believe in that. And when I start to see him for like the things like he was, I'm like, wait a minute. If you like that right here, you're going to be like that for everything. Like you're not going to be different because it's me. And like even the things because he had an ex that came in, that was one of the skeletons that came out of the closet, and she was harassing and stalking. And, he was saying it was one thing, saying like, oh no, she's just like this because of this, when, it really, like I should have trusted my gut. Like I think that's my biggest regret too. But I feel like I had to learn that you need to.
So now
trust. Yes.
You will.
Yeah.
At the point where she revealed to me that the ex skeleton, I said, I'm done. I was done.
Yeah.
Wrap it up. Done.
Yeah.
Wrap it up. But yeah, I mean, we got to go through these things though, ladies. I feel like this is a part of the growth experience. Like you see these things, you need to learn how to discern them, learn how to trust yourself. And I do believe like how I look at like our spiritual walk and stuff like that. I really look at it as these are a series of things to always bring us back to him.
Yep.
Look at all this. At the end of the day, don't nothing look as good as me. At the end of the day, there's nothing as good as me. So yeah, man is going to fail you. Friends are going to fail you. This is going to happen. These things happen because then again, what he might say, I need some time with you. I need you to come over here, and you're going to be praying way harder when you're going through this situation and realizing that I don't change. I'm going to be the same yesterday, today, and forever. And so once we get so trusting in that with him, we can always, he's base, we can always be close to base, because then we can look out. Like where I'm at right now, I feel like it's like I'm looking out, like I got him, right? I got him. So I'm like, I'm good, So when I'm looking out, I'm looking from very clear eyes and not, if I see some red flag, I'm like, no, I'm cutting them things off so quick because I've done the ignoring the red flag thing already. And maybe I'm like a step ahead, on that one. Because I'm like, I had a girlfriend the other day being like, you be cutting people off. Like we kind of had it was like a little back and forth. Like, how I be cutting people off so quick. I said, girl, I've done this. I've been doing this for a long time. I've ignored a gazillion red flags. Okay. Trust me. Been around the world and I
for that now.
But today I don't trust myself to I don't let myself fool myself again. You know, we can talk ourselves into some stuff, you know, be like, well,
For real.
I don't do that no more. I'll be like, girl, no, cut it, block, delete. We're gone, you know? So I feel you on that. It's a process. It is a process.
And before we go to Bria, now I felt like the women, not only you all were very genuine and or grounded in God. I didn't really get that from a lot of the men.
Like well, Walter brought out his Hebrew Bible.
A lot of people do that.
Smoke and mirrors.
You say what? What'd you say?
Smoke and mirrors. Smoke and mirrors. Like people can. Some people are really good at picking up like, oh, you know, they're really into this. So let me lean into that. And that is my way to connect into that. And I feel like he was good at doing that. Like, I just think he's
church.
Like for him, like, yeah, because I'm not knocking, you know, the relationship that he has with God, but there are a lot of other things in his life that if he was really leaned into his faith, that those things wouldn't exist. So I think sometimes people do things just because they know that it will draw whatever they're after at that moment. It would draw that person in.
Look at their fruit.
Yeah.
Look at their fruit.
And Robert wasn't, you know, he's a church going man. Now Jesus did not have. He said that he just respects all religions and whatever, you know, he meditates or something like that. So
yeah,
I was already like,
yeah.
But who you believe in? Who you calling on? That's what
exactly.
Sounds like he believed in Jesus.
Yeah,
that's exactly
the wrong one.
Sure, he did and does.
Yes. All right. So I'm sorry, Sherelle and Aries. I'm sending.
It happens. This is the look. 1 out of 3 success.
Yes,
that's a good success story.
So let's keep going over to Bria.
Yeah. So actually, I had dated a guy, just piggybacking off of Sherelle and her talking about just like trusting your gut. So the guy that I had previously dated, I was like, really like, okay, I think we could, you know, turn into something like this could potentially be like a really good thing. But I was very prayerful. I was like, Lord, you know, I ain't dated in a while. So like, let the, you know, or if there is anything, show it to me, show me the sign. So anyways, ended up getting really restless for like a week. Found out some things. He basically lied about having a job. He was unemployed. But in that moment, I realized, like, because I would always say, like, I don't think my discernment is as heightened as it should be. But I think, like, that was God showing me, like, no, it's there. You just really need to be, like, leaning into me and not ignoring those signs. So taking that into this process, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be prayed up because, you know, people can talk a good game, but like, I really need to see what they're about. So, I mean, even me and Robert connecting so quickly in the beginning, because we talked before the first date. So yeah, we did. We talked before the first date even happened. So
he slid in your DMs.
I was gonna say
he slid in my DMs, and I set very clear boundaries though. I was like, you know, I do want to have some things to discuss on the show. Like, obviously, you know, we can't just be like, thanks for matching us, we're going to do this on our own. So, you know, I had told him, like, you know, we're not going to discuss what we're going to talk about on the show until a date. Like, you know, there were just different things that we had said we weren't going to talk about. But anyway, I was just very prayerful. I'm like, you know, if we're connecting so quickly, like, you know, Lord, just let me be like mindful, like alert, like 10 times as much as I was before. But I knew that, okay, if he pointed it out then, like, he'll point out the things here. And also for me, don't be afraid to speak up. You know, if you see something, if it bothers you, like, say that, like, be honest with them. Let him know, like, hey, you said this, like, get an understanding. What did you mean? You know, so I took that into this process. And then I really feel like that's why Robert and I connected so well, because we were very honest with each other from the beginning. Like, we laid it out on the table. Like, this is who I am. You know, this is who I know me to be. You want to talk to my mom? She can tell you more. You want to talk to my, you know what I mean? I'm like, let me talk to your people too and see, you know, because we can say we're one way. And then our family, you know, so we're asking each other, so like, what is he like when he's upset? What is he like when he's really happy? You know, what is she like when she's disappointed? You know, these are the questions we're asking each other's families, because we were talking marriage within like week 2 or 3. Like when I say things were like progressing really fast with us, it was like, okay, if we're being really serious about this, like we're gonna be really serious about this. And so for us, it was just really important that we were talking to the people like that were closest to us so that we could make a sound decision on like, okay, when we go from dating virtually to dating in person, we already know we're gonna have to hit the ground running, you know, continuing to build on this foundation that we already have, because we dated 6 weeks virtually, which is uncommon in this day and age.
Yeah.
So, you know, and we're really thankful even today for that time that was spent. Like, even though it was hard for us, we were like, you right up the street. Like, if you say come see me, I'm right there. But, you know, we were really committed. Like, you know what? No, let's just let this be our sacrifice. Let this be the foundation that we lay for the future relationship. And it really, you know, it took the physical aspect off the table. So it was like, all we had was, let's focus on the mental and the spiritual.
I love it.
So, you know, by the time we met in person, it was just such an organic, like, flow. It didn't feel like, yes, I'm seeing you for the first time in person, but you don't feel like a stranger to me. You know, so there were people who had, you know, made comments like they saw each other before, like they too close. You know, it's like, but when you're really getting to know a person in that way, like, you are building intimacy, which is what the whole show was supposed to be for. You know, like, can you build intimacy with this person? So,
not sexual,
you know, when we
intimacy,
right?
I think intimacy, they always
go to sex, right? exactly. So, you know, when we did see each other in person, it was just very natural, and you know, we just learned more things about each other afterwards, and we're still, you know, learning things about each other today. But everything that we started with in the beginning of the process, we still go back to that. You know, when we're having a disagreement, it's like, okay, let's get an understanding first. You know, what are you trying to say? What am I trying to say? Do you understand what I'm trying? You know what I mean? So it's like different things that we had when we were just dating virtually, we bring that into today. So I guess that's what I would say I learned through the process, was just like having that open line of communication with him. Like, I can talk to him about anything. He come to me about anything. And it's not taken in a way of like, you're personally attacking me, or, you know what I mean? Like, that's just where we are. So
I
do too. You all set a strong foundation. And I love the fact that 6 weeks virtual, you know, because that is unheard of. And I think, look, I might have to adopt that. You might need to sell this as a master class.
Look.
But you know what? It took 2 people who were ready, mature, and knew what they want. Robert knew what he wanted.
And honest.
Robert came in, said, look at here. I got all the goods. You just need to be the right woman.
Right.
Okay. Mm-hmm. He had his stuff together, his foundation. He was working on getting this house and this and that. He's doing setting the laying the land, you know, for this foundation to be built, you know. So I felt like that was the big thing, where you have these great women, but if you don't have a man that is ready for real to be on the same page and wants the same things, you're not going to get those same results. So
you really are.
Who was in the mix is a big part of it. You know, I think the show had great ideas on like trying to build this intimacy. That was because purity leads to clarity, right? So you're not just like, oh my God, we're so attracted to each other, and then y'all have sex, and then it's like, we still don't even know who we are, you know?
Exactly.
Y'all connected in that way. Right.
Yes. But still learning each other, getting to know. And that's one of the things where I was like, I felt like on my dates, like my date did not want to get to know me. He wasn't trying to get to know Aries. He had already had in his mind, you're this kind of girl.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to treat you like what I think that is, instead of saying, I don't really know you. So, hey, hi, my name is, you know, let's meet. What are you like? What are you into? Da, da, da. Everything is like, you know,
I bet you this and I bet you that.
It's like assumptions and stuff. And I'm like, that's not healthy, you know? So to actually get to a place where like y'all have prayer journals and all that. We were making, laughing at Bria, because you know how people talk about the Sierra prayer. She was saying how she had written in her journal, like all these things. We're like, what's the journal say? What did you put in the prayer journal?
It was lit. And the funny part about it is, one of the things that I prayed, I think it was like number one or two thing on the first or second thing on my list. It was like, I want someone who is excited about me. Yeah. And I was like, that man was excited about me. Okay.
He was excited. I put a hashtag.
I'm like, I want someone who, when they see me, like, I light up their face. You know, they smile, they're happy to be around me, you know, and vice versa. Like, I want to be just as excited about them. And I'm that type of person. Like, I'm going to be your hype woman. Like, you got something going on? Yes, I'm coming to celebrate you. That's how I am. So I want that reciprocated. So it was just a few other things, but also I was single for 8 years. You know what I mean?
So you put in the time and the work.
Exactly. So it's like one of those things. It's like, and actually our pastor was talking about that today. He was like, you know, if the Lord gonna tell you, you know, yeah, I'm gonna give this to you, but you're gonna have to do this for 10 years. We'd be like,
people don't want to put in the work.
Like, how
I would have known. I'm on year 9 of the divorce from the boy's dad, which is cray, first of all, just to even think about that. And I really have had some situationships in between. I have gone on some dates, you know, but I really hadn't had anybody excite me, like really excite me, you know? Yeah. And I feel the same way. I'm like, I guess in his book, in God's book, he said that, but he didn't tell me. Yeah. I'm glad he didn't tell me, because I don't want to know, be like, in year 11, it's going to be.
Like, right. No. Yeah. Like, if you would have told me you was going to have to wait, you know, 8 years, I'd been like, it's okay. I'm good. You know, I'll settle. I'll settle. I don't think, you know, 8 years, it's a little long, you know? But yeah, so.
I love it. So 1 out of 3.
1 out of 3. But that's the dating world. That's, you know.
That's our reality, unfortunately. Yeah. So the next question I have for you all. Tell me what your relationship status is. I mean, I assume with Aries and Sherelle, their relationship status is, but I'll let them tell what their relationship. Especially, I mean, this is Valentine's month.
That's why I have my red. I have my red on.
The month of love.
So, are we in a relationship? Are we single? Sherelle?
First, okay. Sherelle's
like, okay.
They know I'm single. Child.
I'm single.
Okay.
Are you dating?
I'm not dating anyone specific, but I'm open to dating.
Okay.
I'm not dating anyone specific.
And you, Aries, are you dating anyone?
No.
And are you single?
I am very single. Okay.
Extra single.
Single as a Pringle.
And
Bria. I am actually engaged.
Yes. Congratulations.
Now look at that. Okay.
Robert put a ring on it. Okay.
Robert put a ring on it. I love it.
Yes.
She ain't no single lady no more. Okay. No, he liked it and he put a ring on it.
See, I knew it was something with Robert. That's why I asked about them uncles. He has a foundation that he comes from.
Yeah, he knew what he wanted.
Yeah. And Robert's the type of person, we're both the type of people, we're all in or all out, but he's for sure. Like, if it would have been any inkling of anything, even if we would have had a great connection virtually and got in person, and it'd been like, what? He would have been like, you know I said marriage, but you know, maybe not.
I'm so you are the perfect couple.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes.
He did good. He did good, nephew.
Well, and a lot of their commonalities on the things they were sharing. I guess you all were doing like a what's that first?
Oh, the show and tell.
The show and tell.
I was like, oh my gosh, these two.
Listen, when he pulled those cameras out, I literally was like I knew that we had things in common, but like the more we talked on the show and tell day, and then it was crazy because I think I had showed my Polaroid camera.
You did.
And then he was like, well, I got, and I was like, hold up.
Wait a minute.
Hold on.
That's so
and
cute.
Then, just, you know, we talked offline as well. So, you know, we're really like getting to know each other, and we're like, okay, Yes,
Nothing
Lord,
but
we
love.
hear you. You know, what work do we need to do?
It's funny because when we had our group date and we got to see the dynamic between all the couples and stuff, they were like, I'm like, y'all together. Like, they were like, babe, this and that, babe. I'm like, babe, we're at babe.
Oh,
Wait a minute, it's the third date.
Yeah.
But obviously, in between the third date, you know, they were talking, you know, and so I just love it all. I told them to just hold on to this because it's rare
It is
to,
so rare.
you know, coming from this side of life. I just feel like that freshness. And I realized that because I've had connection with people before that was real, you know, and I'm like, you thinking, well, I'll meet somebody else later. No, it don't work like that. Like there may be a rare occasion, and there's people who literally live their whole life and never meet their person, you know? And I just think, I'm like, I am rooting for y'all.
Me too.
I want nothing but the best.
Like
and y'all call and look, you got a community that's supporting you.
Yes.
All that good stuff. So
and you have this on tape. So just the story.
I know. And we're such like, we love documentation. We love just like, you know, remembering the moment and being able to look back on it. So for that, it was just like, we literally have our first date, like us meeting in person for the first time, like just all these monumental moments, literally just like there for us to watch. So we're super thankful, like for the whole experience. We were like,
I met your mom.
I know.
Yeah, like
why did you and dad meet?
Right.
Hold on.
We're gonna watch.
Sit down.
Love that.
And it's so funny because like when people ask us, you know, oh, how did y'all meet? We're like, well, actually, do you have time to download an like we're
selling the Kevin Stage Studios app?
Right. We're like, do you have time to, you know, binge watch your show? But yeah, it's great. So and I think about, you know, how long I was single, just hearing what Aries said, you know, about being on the other side of things. Like I really now can see that was God truly just like protecting my heart, because I know how I am. Like I said, I'm all in. So I knew that if I would have gotten into a relationship or a situationship or whatever and had given my all to that person, like it would have just been so tainted. Like Robert would have had to fight a lot of walls, you know what I mean? And I really just know that that was God just protecting my heart to prepare me for it, even though it sucked. You know, like I had a great community. I still have a great community of women, but you know, it's like my friends are engaged, they're married, you know, like we hang out, but they with their booze, you know, it's like you still want that companionship. And so even though it was like, it was hard, I'm like, okay, I see why now I had to be hidden for a season, even though that season was, it was a long winter. It was a long winter season, but you know, I see why now that God had me in hiding. So I'm thankful for that even too. Because look, he didn't turn this timetable around. He was like 8 years, but
damn. And I'm glad you shared that, because a lot of women don't realize we probably need to be in hiding.
Come on, somebody.
And they think, oh, I'm not in a relationship. They associate their status to being in a relationship and who they are. And so he hit you to prepare you just for this moment.
And that's something that Kim and I are really big on about, and it came up in the show, obviously, but like everything that we are in life is in seasons, you know, and you're gonna be single. That's a state of being, right? And maybe you're married. That's a state of being. Everybody may not be married, but everybody gonna be single at some point. So I don't want to live my single life dreading being single the whole time. Like I'm gonna enjoy my life. I'm gonna maximize this time. Is a reason that I'm in this state. So I'm gonna do everything that I want to do, because I know what it's like to be married. So I'm like, before I get to be a husband, I need to be able to do all my stuff, you know, and feel like I've done my life. I've done singleness well.
Right.
And then you join your life with someone else, if that's what God says that you're going to do. And then y'all can be whole together, you know, and already bring happiness, your own happiness, not relying on this person.
Them for happiness.
Make me happy. you know, and all that kind of stuff. And so I feel like we need to be, you know, a lot more positive about the fact that being single is not bad. You know, people make it like, well, you single, so like that's bad or something. It's just crazy.
Right.
I just don't like that. So anytime I hear someone kind of being negative, especially if they're single,
right?
like you're single. What are you talking about? Like, so you're gonna be sad and digging
single,
up in the whole time. Like, what are you saying? Don't come for me. So anyway, that happened.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, that was a sore spot for me.
I know.
Well, Brittany, I'm so happy for you. We are rooting for you. I hope you all record the wedding.
Girl,
I know. With the camera. Right?
So Rory's like, we talking budget. He's like, as much as we can put towards videography and photography. And I'm like, I know.
Yes. Oh, I love it.
Yes.
I love it. All right. So Aries and Sherelle.
Yes.
How are you approaching dating now? I know you all are single right now, but when the world opens up or when you decide to go back to dating, how are you going to approach it? Sherelle?
I don't know if I have an answer for that question. Honestly, I hope to approach it very balanced, in a balanced mind, because I think sometimes when you've been single for a while, you can get, what is the word, giddy. Mm-hmm. And so when you get giddy, sometimes you miss or you ignore the red flags. And since I've gone through this experience, I'm like, I can't ignore I don't have time, energy, or my spirit, I can't ignore red flags anymore. So for me, I think being very balanced, and the moment I see anything that doesn't look like God, I'm like, I got to get out of there. Right. I gotta start blocking people because I'm not a blocker. Like
Holy Spirit, activate.
I don't block people and like delete and all that stuff. So I need to become that person to block, delete as soon as I see one thing. Out of here. So I think
the block is really for
to protect
when it's something like, because there's some red flags that are like, not for me. Right. We're gonna move on. You know, and you can share that with them and say, hey, you know what? This is not, and move on. And you don't have to worry about the block thing. There are blocks that need to happen. You'll know when those need to take place.
And you show me too.
Yeah.
Like, girl, I was seeing this. What you think?
Share the text messages.
Yeah.
So I think just being balanced and like really using my discernment and making decision on if this is the best course of action for me in terms of like, should I be talking to this person? Like really seeking God in the very beginning of it. Not that I didn't do that with this last situation. It was just that, I don't know. It's crazy, but I just think that just really being also intentional about like how I spend my time in dating and talking to people. So
would you do another dating show?
Yes, but I probably would be a lot different on it. Like I wouldn't be as, I feel like I know the people said I wasn't open, but I was very open.
We don't care about that.
Ma'am, I was very open. But I would probably not be as open. I would do it, but I would be very like, like, I would not be
very selective in making sure it was mutually beneficial for you, because that was not a mutual situation.
Yes, exactly. So, but I would do it. Like I don't think I would at this point cut off any avenues of meeting the person that God has for me. Like, I don't think that I should do that unless I feel like God is like saying to me, like, I feel like online dating for me is not for me. At least in this season of my life, it is not. So that's one thing I wouldn't do, but I would do another dating show.
Okay. Awesome. Aries.
Child, I'm just chilling. I'm living my life. And hopefully, hey, if he's in the path of the things that I got going on, then I'll meet him. I'm not looking, I'm not seeking. I'm just, if somebody want to, I'm doing what I enjoy. And if he's somewhere close by, then that means that maybe what I enjoy is something that he enjoys as well.
Right.
And that's a good thing, because then we'll have
the golf.
We'll have mixed purpose. There'll be something that's like we can connect on,
Right.
So that's what I'm focusing on right now. I'm just like, okay, I just been putting my head down, focusing on my work, podcast, my nonprofit stuff, the boys. I got a lot going on. So it's like, I don't really, I like my downtime. I don't, there's times where I obviously go out and hang out with my girlfriends and stuff like that. And so I just have not been tripping, to be honest with you. But I feel like I'm very clear on what I don't want and what I want, you know. And one of the things that I will say is that the kind of person that I like, and you know, like she knows, like I'm like, my friends need to be involved in the process. Somebody needs to be introducing me or something like that, because I feel like they're very clear on what I like, my personality, all that kind of stuff. It would be super easy to have my friends on their own panel, you know, to pick somebody for me, because they know what I like. And really, it's just like, I want ease. You know, I like someone who is, like you said, Bria, interested in me. Be interested in me. Like the people that I'm usually attracted to are like, they want to know more. They want to learn me. And I do get that a lot, where people will just kind of see me, see the surface, see the stuff, like whatever's out there that I put out there. Most of my life is not on social media, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, don't go by that, because it's a whole bunch of stuff going on back here, you know?
Yeah.
Actually be inquisitive, like want to, you know, but have your own purpose and vision for what you see, and make sure that I match to that, because I want us to be adding value to each other. I have 2 boys. LJ thinks they think I don't like nobody.
They probably need to be on the panel too.
They do. But they're like, I don't know what she like, because she don't like nobody. You know, like that's literally what they say all the time.
You haven't found anybody that you like that.
And that's what I tell them, but they don't. They're kids, so they're only seeing that nobody is piquing my interest, you know, at this point. So they're like, she don't like nobody and whatever, because they don't know about red flags and all that. Yeah, I'm like, listen, when it's somebody I like, y'all gonna meet them, y'all gonna see, you know, whatever. But they want me to have someone, you know, so that's not an issue at all. But yeah, so I'm like, it'll be, if it's right, it'll be right. That's just how I feel.
So would you participate in another dating show?
I would, like I said, I would want my friends and family to be involved. If I can't be the one being like, let me pick all the dudes, they need to be a part of that vetting process. And even after y'all find the group, let them see them first. I don't even need to see them. If my friends and family see them first, my mama,
that was Kim, you know what? Yes,
Lauren,
yes,
some of the girls,
yes.
Like, before I even see them, that would be the panels that needs to happen on mine. So yeah, that'll knock it all out. It'll be like one guy. He'll be the one guy,
right?
Because they would rip them apart by the time I got there. So yeah.
Well, ladies, I have truly enjoyed this. The overall experience, like I said, you all brought it from the beginning. Bria, congratulations. Aries and Sherelle, I know somebody is out there for you all.
Yes.
And they will find you. So we don't even have to worry about that. I'm about to go in hiding season, like Bria said.
Hiding. Well, this is our first podcast appearance together, so this is cool. I'm so glad y'all came to the Bold Black Girls to spill.
Thank y'all for having us.
For inviting us.
Of course. So yes, and congrats, because this month, y'all, again, like I said, y'all are our Bold Black Girls of the month. For being a part of this experience, for just all the things, and you know, we'll always keep catching up. We text all the time.
Love it.
We bonded for life now.
I can't wait for the reunion.
The reunion is over. But they're going on to season 2, so you'll get to see some of our recap there. And then they're moving on to the next group. I'm ready to watch that. I'm gonna be sitting back.
I know. I'm ready to watch other people go through the experience. I'm like, I've done it. I'm ready to watch y'all.
Are there any other dating shows you all watch outside of Love on Stage?
Just Married at First Sight. That's like my faithful.
I gave up on this season. I can't.
Okay.
After last season,
actually last season I probably watched like the first 2 episodes. This season I'm actually kind of like, okay, they might be getting back to where they were before. So I'm traumatized
still from last season. That's why you can have that outlook. I said I watch the recap shows. Like there's certain people I like to watch, like Jasmine W. She does a funny recap, and then the bottom beautiful. I can watch the recap without watching the show.
Right.
Last season traumatized me, child. I was like, I cannot.
It was horrible from start to finish. I was like, I think after the honeymoon, I was like, I'm checked out. I'm not watching the rest of this. And then I was mad because it was Houston. I was like,
they represented not well.
Yeah.
What about you, Sherelle? Do you watch any dating shows?
No, I think I watched Love is Blind, the first season. I've heard they have a second season, but I'm traumatized from my own dating show experience. I don't want to watch anyone else. I don't really care.
Are you traumatized?
Literally, I'm really traumatized in real life. So, like, I don't watch dating shows. No. I'm gonna probably watch Love on Stage season 2, but I didn't even watch the finale episodes from our season. So
she was already checked out.
Yeah,
she was checked out.
What happened, y'all? I'm like, girl, go watch it.
I know she's like, they asked me that too during our reunion. You know that we just recorded. They asked me, how did I feel about the finale? I was like, I didn't watch it. So
I hear you. Protect your peace.
Yeah, because.
Okay.
I probably would have been checked out too. Like, I'm not about to rewatch this. No. And relive this. No.
Exactly. I'm like, good.
So we're going to let it go.
All right. Well, we love y'all.
Yes,
and we are going to
chat later.